There he is. Chairman, I think we're ready to start.
We are ready to start, thank you. Well, I invite members to join me in the opening prayer. Almighty God, the source of knowledge and understanding, guide the minds of those of us who are about to take counsel together on matters concerning the county, that in our debate and in our decisions, we may faithfully discharge our duties of office and promote the health, safety, and well-being of those we seek to serve. Through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. So, our fellow councillors, members of the public who are listening, welcome to this evening's council meeting on International Women's Day. In Rutland, we certainly don't need reminding of that, as we have a Lord Lieutenant who's a lady. And had we been in the chamber, I could have turned to my left and pointed out that on one of the boards, the last chairman of Rutland before we lost our independence, there was Lady Martin, who I had the pleasure of knowing. She was a good friend to me as a child. And International Women's Day, the person who is clearly at the head of any list is Her Majesty the Queen. And on your behalf, I would like to send our thanks to her, and also to combine that with wishes for the Duke of Edinburgh's speedy recovery. So for the meeting to run as smoothly as possible, all microphones will be set on mute, apart from mine as chairman and the chief exec, who will act as a co-host and help me to run the meeting. Mr. Andrews, do you want to just comment on that? Or
just my usual reminder, Chairman, for people to use their electronic hands if they can, makes our job much easier. Thank you.
Thank you. And you will be given, as usual, 5 minutes to speak on each agenda item, maximum 5 minutes, and you will have that one opportunity. The governance staff will help by taking recorded votes. If we should get close to 9:30 and it's clear that business has not been concluded, then I will propose from the chair an extension of 30 minutes until 10 o'clock. Though I think there's an American soap that some people might want to watch earlier than that. So if I move to the agenda proper, I have received apologies from Councillor McCartney. Again, I noted what Councillor Waller said before the meeting from Councillor Bull. I think we've one other, have we, Emma?
We also have apologies from Councillor Jones, and also Councillor Burrows is running a little late, but she will hope to join us. I think that Councillor Bull has joined on the...
I'm on sound. I'm on sound, Chairman.
Thank you very much. So at that rate, we will be voting, if I've got my arithmetic right, to 24 tonight. So we've dealt with that. And Chairman's announcements, I haven't, they've been circulated such as they were. I would just like to say, following on from the end of last council meeting, I would ask members, I'm all in favour of open debate, but to give people the respect, even if their opinions differ from your own. And I think it is possibly this virtual thing. We are so used to reacting to the television in the comfort of our own homes, and no doubt thinking we can say what we like to the last speaker. Do bear in mind, we may be virtual, but please observe the decorum that you would observe in the council chamber. Announcements then, item 3, from the leader, members of cabinet, or the head of paid service. I'm aware that 3 people have indicated that they would like to speak. The leader, Councillor Hemsley, Councillor Stevenson, and Councillor Walters. So I will take them in that order. Councillor Hemsley.
Thank you very much, Chair. I was actually just making sure that we recorded a spot. So over to Councillor Stevenson, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to give you an update on our Members Climate Action Group. As members, I'm sure, remember, we declared a climate crisis in January 2021 this year. Post that meeting, we've established a Members Climate Action Group. We're meeting regularly. We've organised a clear programme of work, including phase 1, which is setting up a network of community-driven action groups across the county. We're all working very hard and we will keep you updated as we go along. Phase 2 will be refreshing and reviewing our climate action strategy as an authority. I'm not going to use the word roadmap because I feel that's been used by somebody else recently, but that will of course enable us to move towards being carbon zero. And so I just wanted you all to know that we're working very hard and we will keep you posted, and do put the 12th of May in your diaries when we will be having a climate summit, or our climate conversation as it will be called. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Stevenson. Councillor Walters.
Thank you, Chairman. Anyone who has been a councillor for any length of time will know that we have been waiting for a health plan for Rutland. I'd like to say we've reached the end of the beginning, to use someone else's expression, but I'm afraid we haven't. We might be approaching the middle of the beginning. As part of that, and part of the Rutland conversation, we will be taking people's opinions on healthcare in Rutland, but there is another more direct approach. So to date, I have met with parish councils 6 times, but I'm running out of parish councils who wish to talk about their concerns or ideas for healthcare in Rutland. So if any of you happen to be twin-hatted, or to have a good working relationship with the chairman or clerk of your local parish council, and I have not attended one of your meetings, I would encourage you to have a word in their ear to see if they would like me to attend one of their meetings, or indeed to have a special meeting. It's perhaps worth noting that the east and north of the county is overrepresented in having spoken with me, and the west in particular and the south have been underrepresented. So if anyone has any queries, just email me as normal, but I would rather like to talk to lots more parish councils. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Walters. So we move to item 4, declarations of interest. Are there any, please?
Councillor Harvey has a hand up, Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Harvey.
Thank you, Chair. It's not a pecuniary one of any sort. It's just regarding the school decision, just to make everyone aware my son does actually attend Catmus College.
Thank you. Councillor Stevenson.
Same as Councillor Harvey, my son attends Catmus College.
Thank you.
Likewise, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Hemsley.
Thank you.
Councillor Zell.
Yeah, likewise, my son attends Catmus College.
Thank you. Are there any other declarations? Thank you very much. So if we move to item 5, then minutes of the previous meeting, we need to confirm those. Could I have a proposer and seconder, please?
We've got
Councillor Fox.
Councillor Fox, I think, and Councillor Hemsley. Thank you. So if Emma, we could please take the vote, and this will also act as a roll call for this evening's meeting.
Of course, thank you. Councillor Ainsley?
4.
Councillor Baines?
4.
Councillor Beggy?
4.
Councillor Blanksby?
4.
Councillor Ball?
4.
Thank you. Councillor A. Brown?
4.
Councillor G. Brown?
In favour.
Councillor Burrows?
In favour.
Thank you. Councillor Coleman?
In favour.
Councillor Cross?
4.
Councillor Dale?
4.
Councillor Fox?
4.
Councillor Harvey?
4.
Councillor Hemsley.
In favour.
Councillor Lowe.
In favour.
Councillor Oxley.
4.
Councillor Payne.
4.
Councillor Powell.
4.
Councillor Rozelle.
In favour.
Councillor Stevenson.
4.
Councillor Waller.
4.
Councillor Walters.
4.
Councillor Webb.
In favour.
Councillor Wilby.
4.
And Councillor Woodley. Councillor Woodley. Councillor Woodley is not here on the call. So that's 24. Unanimous, Chair.
Thank you. So we now move to item number 6, petitions and questions from members of the public. We have had none. Item 7, questions from members of the council. No questions have been submitted. And item 8, referral of committee decisions, the council, I'm advised that there are none. And item 9, call-in of decisions from cabinet meetings. Again, there have been no call-ins during that period. So if we move to item 10, with receiving reports from the cabinet, and report number 38, oblique 2021. Councillor Wilby, I believe you're proposing that.
You're on mute, David.
Thank you very much, Chair. I don't often get the mic, so just before I do that, I'd just like to, in my capacity as Education and Children's Services portfolio holder, thank the schools and nurseries and all those in early years, the heads and teachers, the governors, and importantly, all the support staffs. All have worked with great resilience throughout this pandemic to keep pace with the government guidance in their unstinting efforts to look after our children. I would also like to commend most warmly our own staffs at County HQ for a cohesive and supportive team effort throughout the pandemic and in preparation for any additional problems that may follow. Let me turn to the expansion. The natural growth in County has created a need for extra capacity in our secondary education system. Our 3 secondaries are all excellent schools, achieving first-class results across the board. As a result, they are magnets for parents who understandably want the best for their children. We commissioned a comprehensive feasibility study to determine the most effective and affordable solution to meet our needs. I believe that our professionals have done a good job, and you will have read their detailed report. In brief, Uppingham College is happy with its current size and is developing its new initiative to provide better support for some of our children who just need a little more help to keep them in mainstream education. Casterton College has been recognised as a national field leader and would benefit greatly from a major injection of capital. However, placed on the borders of the county, it already receives some 70% of its pupils from other counties. Lincolnshire has another secondary school adjacent in Stamford and is choosing to invest growth in that direction. Under current Department of Education policy, our council is responsible to make sure that we make provision for our Rutland children. Thus, we have selected, and Cabinet has recommended, that subject to your agreement, we expand the Catmus campus to best meet our requirement. The most cost-effective solution is to relocate Brightways from the campus to the OEP. This can be done quite easily, and the move supports a new shift in thinking to provide an improved service to continue the excellent work done at Brightways. This will enable the vacated space in the campus to be adapted for expansion. In addition, a new extension will be built abutting the edge of the school. These changes will extend capacity to an 8th form entry starting September 2022. We have a total of £5.5 million allocated to the project. This is a combination of education basic needs and additional capital funding designed and ring-fenced for this purpose. 100k will facilitate the Brightways move, and 5.212 million will cover the works required at the campus. The remainder has been allocated for the resourcing of the project, legal costs, project administration and management. You will have seen the detail at Annex, but in essence, if you are able to endorse this recommendation, a capital project board is already in place to execute funding within agreed hard limits. A CAPMAS campus project board will oversee the project construction. The campus has an excellent management organisation with recent project experience achieved in the successful Harrington build. Our project manager will be Robert Shaw, who has run our adult learning organisation with consummate management skills and is planned to be under contract as he retires from RALS this summer. There is still some further refinement of value engineering to ensure that costs fall within the funding hard borders. And as you will have noted, the Capital Project Board is under remit to report back to Cabinet before a construction order is given. May I propose that Council approves the recommendation from Cabinet on the 16th of February 2021, Report number 35/2021, Schools Capital Programme. That Council, 1, approves the initiation of the Schools Capital Programme project and the related documentation comprising project initiation document, programme and project board terms of reference as attached at appendices C, D and E of the report, up to a maximum value of £5.5 million. That Council notes the contents of the risk and issues log and associated programme timetable as attached at Appendix B of the report, and notes the budget available to support the projects, paragraph 7.1 in the report. And finally, that Council authorises the Interim Director for Children's Services to commence the school's capital programme and associated structures to enable the local authority to meet its statutory obligation to provide sufficient secondary school places within Rutland, subject to reporting to Cabinet on the costings prior to the placement of the order to commence construction. I look for a second and stand by to answer any of your questions.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Wilby. Could I have a seconder, please, for that?
Councillor Ainsley.
Councillor Ainsley, thank you very much indeed.
Chairman, before we go into the debate, Councillor Wilby just left off, there is a 5th recommendation. It's probably worth, before we go into debate, that's just highlighted to members, is delegate the authority to the Interim Director of Children's Services and the portfolio holder of lifelong learning to enter into a funding agreement. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Exec. Right, in that case, we'll open for the debate.
Councillor Baines, we've had
sorry?
Councillor Waller has her hand up.
Councillor Waller.
Councillor Waller has her hand up.
Councillor Waller.
Thank you very much. Can I start by echoing Councillor Wilby's opening comments, thanking all the staff who've been working in schools for the last year and thanking them for what they are about to embark on. I know as a school governor and as a mother of a teacher, what inordinately hard work they've been putting in. It might seem easy to think your children or your young person is being educated at home. Believe me, it's not. So I very much want to echo all his comments and welcome back to school Rutland children and young people today. I have absolutely no problem whatsoever with supporting the essence of this recommendation to help the expansion of CAPMOS. I fully understand why and the need for the expansion, and the solution for Brightways seems to me perfectly adequate, if not more so. David tells us it's more so, so that's really good news. The reason I wanted to speak though is I was concerned, I have been in correspondence with the Chief Executive over this, about the project board process, particularly the CAPMOS Campus Project Board, because as you will all recall, we had some serious concerns a number of years ago now about the way the library refurbishment and the Children's Centre project went over budget. The Audit and Risk Committee was asked to look into this, and one of the outcomes was that a project board system was set in place. And for the CAPMOS Campus Project Board, I would have expected to see a ward member on it as per our agreement. Now, I understand from Mr. Andrews that this is not a Rutland project board, that this is a trust project board, the CAPMOS Trust, that is. And if that's the case, then that is fine because it's not our business. But on the other hand, we are the custodians of the money. But I think it could have been a lot clearer in both the recommendation, because why would we be supporting a PID and documentation if it's a trust project board? That's entirely down to them. And if we are, it implies it's a Rutland project board and therefore should be following the guidelines that we have set ourselves, and that is where a project is physically within one ward, a ward member is involved. And I would like to add that this is a comment about governance, that none of my group's members would be involved because it's not our wards. This is a Rutland issue I'm raising. So I think clarity, or rather lack of, is my concern and what I wanted to raise tonight. But that doesn't mean I won't be supporting this, because I will be supporting this. I think it's excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Waller. Other members?
I can't see any other hands going up, Chair. Oh, sorry, Councillor Cross.
Oh,
Councillor Cross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Emma, for noticing my dinky little hand there. I have no problems with the expansion of any campus. However, the amount of money to be spent on what seems to be a relatively modest structure does seem to be excessive. Over the years, we have invested in schools. In fact, I've been in Barleythorpe at the old place near the hall, and we watched its demise. It worries me that yet again we seem to go forwards and backwards with no real plan or forward plan. And I am a little bit worried. And as Councillor Waller has said, any project board should be capable of managing this build. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Cross. Any other members who wish to speak, please?
We've got Councillor Webb.
Councillor Webb.
Thank you, Chairman. My concern, I'm in favour of this, but my concern is over parking. I notice in the report it says there will be no expansion on car parking, but we know the impact that Harrington School had when it was built. It might be just my misunderstanding of, actually who's going to go there, but we do have parking issues, Huntsman's Drive, Prince George's Avenue, coming across to Stud Road, etc., the use of Little Car Park. So I'd just like to know a little bit more reasoning behind not extending any more car parking. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure Councillor Wilby will address that in his summing up. Anyone else, please, Emma?
Sorry, we have Councillor A. Brown as well.
Councillor A. Brown.
Thank you, Chair. I just wondered or wanted a bit of expansion on the 100,000 it's going to cost to move Brightways. That sounds like quite a lot. I mean, I don't know what is involved, of course, but if we could have a bit of information on that.
Again, I will invite Councillor Wilby to address that in his summing up. Any other members?
I can't see any more hands up, Chair.
In that case, I'll come back to you, Councillor Wilby, to sum up and pick up those 2 or 3 questions members have raised.
Thank you very much, Chair. And of course, all those questions are really good questions, and I thank you for that. Personally, I will be sitting on the project board along with some of our other cabinet members, and I would always be delighted to have any additional help on that board. But I know the Chief Executive has got his plans, and it may be that it will not fit the build that he's got in mind for that particular project. But the one thing that I can assure you, Councillor Waller, is that we will keep you in the loop right the way through, because this is a project that we need to keep right down to within the limits that we are prescribing. We've just done a similar project, well, sorry, not a similar project, but we've done a build at Uppingham, and we've kept that down, and it's been done by rigorous looking at costs and chasing it everywhere we go on the project. And we will continue to do that. So if you have any doubts whatsoever as we progress, then more brains are better than few. So please don't hesitate to shout. In terms of the move of Brightways, I thought that the Brightways move might be a difficult one for a number of reasons, but actually it's proved very, very useful because of the new way that our adult team have been thinking about how to provide their service. The OEP has got room in it, and the amount of money that will be spent, and the 100K is a maximum spend, will cover the additional work that requires to be done in a couple of the rooms to make sure that we provide the facilities for some of the folk who are less well able to do some of the things that normal folks with all their limbs and things can do. So we're looking at lifting equipment and things like that. I haven't got the full detail, but I know that Bob Shaw has kept a very close eye on this, and nothing will be spent that isn't required to provide that requirement that we need. In terms of car parking, you're absolutely right to raise car parking, because I know when we were looking at perhaps building a primary school in the sort of area, we had to consider where we might put all the cars, where the runoff of rainwater would go and things like that. But we believe that we can cope. There may be some difficulty with parking. I can't put my hand on my heart and say there won't be, but if that is the case, then it'll be something that we will have to learn to live with, just like in all our little villages, where I can tell you, if you go to any of the schools in Ryle or Ketton or wherever, you will find that parking is enormously difficult around school dropping off time and school picking up time. But the flow system around Catmos should allow us to be able to do it well. And as we're all going green, perhaps there'll be even more of us on bikes or walking. So, but as any of you councillors find that you have a question, please don't hesitate to fire it up the line so that we can address it. We're better working together in all these projects than working apart. But I can assure you that my team will do their very best to bring us in under budget and with a vision, if you like, that will take us forward for the next, and it might change in 5, 10 years, but hopefully, what we've got will last us for a good while. I can't offer you any more than that, I'm afraid, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Wilby. Well, it has been proposed and seconded. So, Emma, if we could move to the vote, please.
Of course, thank you. Councillor Ainsley?
For.
Councillor Baines?
For.
Councillor Beggy?
For.
Councillor Blanksby?
For.
Councillor Ball?
For.
Councillor A. Brown?
For.
Councillor G. Brown?
In favour.
Councillor Burrows?
In favour.
Councillor Coleman?
In favour.
Councillor Cross?
For.
Councillor Dale?
For.
Councillor Fox?
In favour.
Councillor Harvey? I think Councillor Harvey?
Apologies, my spacebar failed. For.
Thank you. Councillor Hemsley?
In favour.
Councillor Lowe?
In favour.
Councillor Oxley?
For.
Councillor Payne?
For.
Councillor Powell?
In favour.
Councillor Rozelle?
In favour.
Councillor Stevenson?
For.
Councillor Waller?
For.
Councillor Walters?
For.
Councillor Webb?
In favour.
And Councillor Wilby?
For.
Thank you, Chair. That's 24 in favour. That's unanimous.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. So we move on to item 11, reports from committees of the council. There are no reports from committees. And item 12, similarly, reports from Scrutiny Commission. I've been advised that there are none. Joint arrangements have been emailed prior to the meeting. If anybody wishes to add anything to that, please do so now. That's item 13.
We have Councillor Harvey, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Harvey.
Thank you, Chair. Just to let everyone know, Councillor Waller and myself attended the Joint Health Overview Scrutiny Committee in Leicester on Friday of last week. One of the important agenda items were the issues around the audit and the issues they're having with their audit process. We are currently writing up our notes and will circulate them to all members within the next few days. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Is there anyone else who wants to add to that item, please?
I can't see any more hands, Chair.
Thank you very much indeed. So if we move on to item 14, report 41, 2021, amendment to virtual meeting procedure rules. Councillor Henry, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. This is to seek that Council approves the amendment to the procedure rules for virtual meetings to remove the requirement for recorded votes. This is further to a suggestion from Councillor Oxley, and the report before you is just a simple amendment. The vote which will be taken by roll call to enable those who may have to join by phone to understand the outcome of a vote, but it will not be recorded otherwise. So any thoughts or comments? Otherwise, I'm happy to propose this, Chair.
Thank you very much. Could I have a seconder, please, for
I think Councillor Waller had her hand up first. I'm not sure whether or not she wanted to second it.
Thank you
I'm
very
more
much.
than happy to second it, but I'd also like to make a comment,
Of
Chairman.
course, yes.
The comment is, for clarity, our constitution says that if 5 members want a recorded vote and that's agreed, then that will happen. That isn't being changed. There are some people, I think, who thought that might be changed, but that rule isn't being here. This is simply to make life, well, to replicate what we previously had before COVID. And it's why I'm prepared to second it. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Waller. Any other comments from anyone? In that case, if we could move to the vote, Emma, please.
Thank you, Chair. Bear with me. Okay, Councillor Ainsley.
4.
Councillor Baines.
4.
Councillor Beggy.
4.
Councillor Blanksby.
4.
Councillor Ball.
4.
Councillor A. Brown.
4.
Councillor G. Brown. Councillor G. Brown.
In favour. My apologies.
Councillor Burrows.
In favour.
Councillor Coleman.
In favour.
Councillor Cross.
Agree.
Councillor Dale.
4.
Councillor Fox.
In favour.
Councillor Harvey.
4.
Councillor Hemsley.
In favour.
Councillor Lowe.
In favour.
Councillor Oxley.
4.
Councillor Payne.
4.
Councillor Powell.
4.
Councillor Rizal.
In favour.
Councillor Stevenson.
4.
Councillor Waller.
4.
Councillor Walters.
4.
Councillor Webb.
4.
And Councillor Wilby.
4.
Again, that's unanimous, Chair. That's 24.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. So we move to item 15, changes to the composition of cabinet and committees. That's report number 40/2021. Councillor Hemsley is going to propose that. And again, you note that Councillor Cross should be on the scrutiny appendix, not Councillor Ross. So with that typo removed, Councillor Hemsley.
Thank you very much, Chair, for that. So this is just to update Council on the changes to Cabinet and the changes made to the committees for the Conservative seats. So first of all, Councillor Payne will remain on Planning Committee until the 10th of March. And I'm grateful, as the Chairman pointed out, that we have a Ross in our councillors, so that's been changed to Councillor Cross, and thank you for Councillor Waller pointing that out. And finally, I would like to nominate Councillor Powell to the Chair of Audit and Risk Committee, please.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder for that, please?
I think Councillor Webb had her hand up first.
Councillor Webb, was that seconding?
Yes, Chairman.
Thank you very much indeed. Are there any other nominations for Chair of Audit and Risk Committee, please?
I can't see any.
Thank you. In that case, we can go straight to the vote again, Emma. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Ainsley.
Sorry, I do need to just come in here because yep, sorry everybody. My name is down on the Conduct Committee and I'm not on that. I'm sorry I haven't alerted you sooner.
Could someone please just clarify that position for me?
Emma, do you think you could clarify that for us?
Yeah, just bear with me for 1 second, please. I do have you down as being on the conduct committee, Councillor Webb.
Yes, I know, but when I was taken off and Councillor Andrew Brown was put on my place.
Okay.
So I was, yeah.
Okay, thank you. I will clarify that in the minutes.
Can I point out?
So long as we've clarified it in the minutes, I think Councillor Webb, Councillor Andrew Brown, you're happy with that situation.
Chairman, we've got Councillor Brown on that committee in the appendix, and that committee does have 6 people. So Councillor Brown, if he came on it for Councillor Webb, we're missing 1 person.
Okay, that's fine. I'm happy to go. I'm happy to stay on it. It's just I was taken off when we had, you know, a reshuffle, when there was a change of positions at the beginning of not this year, but you know.
If you're happy to stay on it, Councillor Webb, I could see.
Yes, I do apologise. I do apologise.
That would solve the problem, I'm sure.
Yeah, I apologise for holding.
Not at all.
Councillor Baines, Councillor Hemsley had his hand up.
Sorry, Chair, I
Councillor
was just going
Hemsley.
to suggest that it was just checked outside the meeting and then, if necessary, appended to the minutes of the meeting afterwards, once we've resolved that, if that's okay.
If the parties concerned are happy with that, I think that's the sensible way forward.
I'm happy, Chair.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Right, if we could then move to item 16 on your agenda.
Sorry to interrupt, Chairman. Can we just go back to the vote, please?
Oh, sorry, I'm leaping ahead. Yes, please do.
Okay, thank you. So, Councillor Ainsley.
In favour.
Councillor Baines.
For.
Councillor Beggy.
For.
Councillor Blanksby.
For.
Councillor Ball.
For.
Councillor A. Brown.
For.
Councillor G. Brown.
In favour.
Councillor Burrows.
In favour.
Councillor Coleman.
In favour.
Councillor Cross.
For.
Councillor Dale.
For.
Councillor Fox.
In favour.
Councillor Harvey.
For.
Councillor Hemsley.
In favour.
Councillor Lowe.
In favour.
Councillor Oxley.
In favour.
Councillor Payne. Councillor Payne.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Powell.
For.
Councillor Rozelle.
Approved.
What was that, sorry?
For. Sorry, Emma.
Sorry,
For.
thank you. Councillor Stevenson.
For.
Councillor Waller.
For.
Councillor Walters. Councillor Walters.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Webb.
For.
And Councillor Wilby.
For.
Again, that's unanimous. That's 24, Chair.
Thank you very much indeed, Emma. And we now move then to item 16, pay policy statement. That's 24/2021. Again, Councillor Hemsley, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. The Council is required to review and publish its pay policy statement on an annual basis. This is a requirement of the Localism Act of 2011. Now, there are no recommendations of any changes, and we have used existing provisions during the pandemic. Any changes that may emerge we'll take through the normal process, i.e. unions and the Employment Committee. And the latest on the National Joint Council Pay Award, just a little bit of information here. So for each 1% of pay increase, it will create £120,000 cost pressure. At the moment, we have allowed £100,000 in the budget for this. But currently, the unions are looking to ask for 10%, but any discussion will not take place until after May the 6th. So, Chair, I would like to ask that one, Council approves the updated pay policy for 2021-2022 and notes the latest update regarding the Local Government National Pay Award for 2021. I'm happy to propose this.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Hemsley. May I have a seconder, please?
Councillor Waller has a hand up.
Thank you. Councillor Waller seconding. And anyone who would wish to speak to this, please.
We have no hands up. Oh, sorry, Councillor Cross.
Councillor Cross?
Couldn't find my hand then. I was just quite interested because in one of the, oh dear, there's one about the improvements to schools. Now, if that's a full-time post, that I don't know, about £68,000 a year, and I know we've got this project that we've just voted for, but is it a full-time job? Thank you.
I don't know whether Councillor Wilby can help me on that one. You're on mute.
Councillor Wilby?
By all means, it's a really important job. And I think what we found out, particularly during the pandemic, is how good, and when I said earlier on my thanks to our staff, I really am very sincere about that. There has been a real team effort with all our staff and the schools to make sure that we're all moving in the same direction. And it's quite odd that whilst academies might seem to be remote, I think one of the good things about being a small county like Rutland is that we all know each other, and the team really works hard to try and make sure that everyone is using the right sort of techniques and best practice to improve things. There will no doubt be some areas within our education side where we may have to look when we're looking for, like in all our staff positions, for any cuts and things like that. But I can assure you that at the moment, the work that's done is tremendous. It's a bit like the lady who does the, admissions. We've got a really good admission team who are on it 100%, and they do a very, very good job. I'm giving you the blasé answer. I know that the DCS is on the link as well. She may wish to add something to it, but I think in essence, William, they all do a jolly good job, and at the moment, it is really imperative that we keep them there, particularly as we come out of this pandemic and we're into all sorts of other methods of catching up and doing things. It does require a lot of coordination.
Well, thank you very much indeed, David. I greatly appreciate the explanation there, and of course it makes it much clearer. But when one looks at the title, I don't think it gives that particular officer credit for what they're actually doing. So I was perplexed, but thank you for the explanation.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just come in order to assist members.
Certainly, Mr. Horsfield.
Thank you. Just for clarification, members, the decision today focuses on the policy. While I do appreciate there may be questions around the individual roles, they are best dealt with outside of this forum. Council will be turning its mind to the particular policy rather than to the individual roles.
Thank you very much for that advice. Thank you. So if there's no one else...
Mr. Chairman, if I might just reply to that, if we are not to discuss what is in the papers, let's not put it in the papers. Thank you.
I think, Councillor Cross, we must take Mr. Horsfield's advice because, again, the very strength that Councillor Wilby referred to, we are a small county, and I would not wish to move into exempt because we were discussing an individual post rather than the generic pay policy. So I think it's something I'm sure Councillor will be happy to talk to you outside the meeting. I wouldn't be particularly comfortable of going down that route in public. So if there are no further questions or comments, If we could again, please, Emma, move to the vote.
Of course, thank you, Chair. Councillor Ainsley. Councillor Ainsley.
Sorry, my spacebar didn't do what it's supposed to do. In favour.
Thank you. Councillor Baines.
For.
Councillor Beggy.
In favour.
Councillor Blanksby.
Favour.
Councillor Ball.
For.
Councillor A. Brown.
For.
Councillor G. Brown.
In favour.
Councillor Burrows.
In favour.
Councillor Coleman.
In favour.
Councillor Cross.
For.
Councillor Dale.
For.
Councillor Fox. Councillor Fox. Thank you. Councillor Harvey.
For.
Councillor Hemsley.
In favour.
Councillor Lowe.
Favour.
Councillor Oxley.
In favour.
Councillor Payne.
For.
Councillor Powell.
For.
Councillor Rozelle.
In favour.
Councillor Stevenson.
For.
Councillor Waller.
For.
Councillor Walters.
For.
Councillor Webb.
For.
And Councillor Wilby.
For.
Thank you. Again, that's unanimous, Chair, 24 in favour.
Thank you very much indeed, Emma. So item 17, notice of motion. I've been informed that there have been no notices, and I have not on item 18 have any other urgent business notified to me. So at 7 minutes to 8, I can declare the meeting closed. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.